we're gonna get down to this. See, welcome to the live chat. Chat, let me turn on my light here. Let me see. Are we okay? Okay, listen. I want to deal with something. I've been talking about something for a minute now, and this thing. I want to talk about the Castro Corey
When
deal,
is pointing a gun at someone's head
and I want to
harms nothing? And they all
and I
knew it
want to
because they
show you
pointed guns
something
anyway.
that is
The
so
defense,
crazy, and I just want to kind of deal with it real quick because I was just going over some of the details of this case, and I think
at that stage, they can
you
file an
you will find it kind of amusing. So Castro versus Corey basically went all the way to the fifth court. This this man was sleeping in his truck, pulls over the side of the road into a little driveway area. It's a little offside to the cut. And then basically is sleeping. A police officer drives up. One drives up first, has his lights on the truck, and then notices that the truck door is open. The man, it's kind of hot, so the guy's sleeping on his bed truck. He's resting. He's taking a rest off the side of the road. So basically, cop puts his lights on the cop like cops do. Their lights, puts the lights on them. Now remind you, it doesn't have his sirens on. And says, "Hey," starts yelling like all these verbal, the commands like, "Hey, are you there? Is there anybody in the truck?" And the guy says, "Yes." And he's like, "What are you doing? Get out!" And he's like, "I'm sleeping, man. Leave me alone. I'm just sleeping." But this he calls for help. Then the other cop comes, drives up, and again, now the the driver's spooked. Now he has two cars with their lights on them. Now remind you, no police lights are on yet. The man grabs his phone, calls 911, and says, "Hey, I think I'm going to be robbed." He's calling 911. He's actually thinks he's going to be robbed. They're not, "Hey, police department, blah blah blah." They're just saying, "Get out, truck," and they start cussing, motherfucker. Cops are because you don't listen to them. They start cussing. And the guys, all of a sudden, they're like, 911, blah, blah, and then they're like, "Hey, there's someone called just right now. You guys at the road?" And they find out this guy calls 911. So now this guy takes out his his uh, his assault rifle, AR4, his A4 R4 or whatever it is, comes around and puts it on his red dot on the driver on his forehead. Now to remind you, it's not even a traffic stop, and says, "I have the red dot on his head." And now by this time they run up to the truck, they grab him, and they start pulling at him, and the guy's freaking out. And they're like, "We're police." And he finally realizes it's the police, and they start hitting him. They start, pulling on him, throw him out of the truck, get him on the ground, blah blah blah, do their thing like they do. Takes it. So then they find out after they get him in the car, man. A supervisor shows up and says, "Hey, you guys use force, blah blah blah. What's going on?" And they start being questioned, and they start lying. And the cop says, "Well, we could point our guns at anybody. The guy's not dead. And he didn't get shot." Well, that doesn't matter. That's still illegal force. They think, "Oh, we pull guns on people all the time." So he takes it to court, takes it all the way. He files a lawsuit, challenges the qualified immunity. Boom, gets taken away. They appeal it, goes to discovery. Then they do a sub. Then in the discovery, boom, gets taken away. The summary judgment loses. They appeal it again. Bam, loses there, and the appeal goes to trial, and Castro wins. We're talking about the fifth uh, court, the fifth level of this. I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm trying to remember everything of the court. And as you know, Supreme Court to get there takes a long time. It's a big fight. He wins. They lose their qualified immunity. He ends up winning like $279,000, and he then they find out that they when they lost their qualified immunity, then he finds out that the not just the police officers lose their qualified immunity, but at the same time, they find out that they got all these promotions, that they lost in court. Then they got all these promotions on top of it through the whole losing their qualified immunity. Then he's still waiting to get paid. So this is my point, guys. You know, it may seem like he lost, but he won, because now we have a record in this. I'm trying to think of that word. The Fifth Circuit Court. We have a reference now because of Castro that police cannot use excessive force. This man fought years in the court. Now many of you maybe don't know what I'm talking about, but it's on YouTube. You can read to it. Castro versus Corey. All four of these officers lost their qualified immunity, and when you study it, man, what's really sad about it is that sometimes the city still steps in and pays these bills, which are taxpayers' money. And it's sad. And I believe that it's time that a reform, that we start fighting back and start defunding some of these bad police stations and ask them to reform. If not, that taxpayers start fighting back, because we have the rights to know where our taxes are going, what it's supporting to. I mean, this police state that it's turning into is not working. Not for the people. It may be working for police officers making $135,000 a year, 175. Some of them making $198,000 a year. For what? Most of them stand around and talk and follow each other corner to corner. You know, someone's getting pulled over for a ticket, 5 cop cars show up. You know, it seems like they say we have a short now a lot of people don't want to be police these days. You know, when I was growing up, you know, little kids always wanted to be police officers. I have respect for all our first responders. Police, it's getting really hard, guys. I'm starting to really I don't understand these young guys. I think that in part of the reforming, we need to up the ante on the age that a police officer can be hired. You know, these 20-year-olds, these 21-year-olds, these 22-year-olds, these 23-year-olds, they're just not old enough. They're not mature enough. They don't know how to de-escalate. They you know, most of them they're on steroids, going to the gym. You know, you're young, man. You're trying to get pumped up. They're doing all these drugs. And, you know, I just really believe that, you know, maybe 30 years and up, if you want to be a police officer, or maybe 25, you know, let's say 25, 26 years old, you could apply to be a police officer. That gives you some time to grow up, at least. You know, there's just so many mistakes. And I just want to let you know, guys, I say all this, and I really just want to come on and let you know that this man could have lost his life for sleeping in a truck. And when you watch the video, it's sad. First of all, the guy didn't speak English. So the cop that drove up, you know, didn't know what to do. Then he gets an AR-15, sticks a red dot on his head, and yells it. I got his head. Red dots on his head. I'll take your head off. You know, these are supposed to be civil servants. We gotta take these rifles away. These cops just do not. How come they don't act like that when the kids were in trouble? How come they don't act when there's a gunman? They always wait for SWAT to come. If somebody shoots back at them, they all run back by their cars, and they all stand there and they wait for SWAT. Literally, a SWAT team has to come get one guy out of a house. It's sad, man. It's so over police, so over, six, seven cops on one guy all the time because most of them can't fight. Most of them can't carry their own weight. So they always got to wait. And if you ever notice, if you watch videos, you'll notice they don't act up until they know their buddy drives up. Then they start cussing and then they start getting louder. But when it's just them, sir, I'm just trying to talk to you, sir. Sir, I'm just trying to. But then their buddy gets there. You better listen. Because they don't want to be put on a one-on-one situation. Because most of them get knocked out. If you Google it, you'll see cop after cop after cop that has to put his fist up. They get knocked out. Majority of them are overweight, from eating, from not, because they just drive around their cars. That's all they do. It's sad, man. It's sad. There needs to, and this 6-week training is not enough. Majority of them, we need to do a test on every police station. Okay, do you know the Fourth Amendment? Do you know the Fifth Amendment? The First Amendment? Go through the Constitution and find out where every police station is at. I will guarantee you, if they'll come back and say, man, out of 15 guys that are hired on this police station, 3 of them knew it. I'll guarantee you, and we're talking about leadership too. That one deposition where that guy's 30 years, he's a lieutenant, and he asked him about the Fourth Amendment. He didn't know. He asked him about the your rights, and when you arrest somebody, and he's like, well, I've never really arrested anybody. He said, how long have you been a cop? 30 years. You've never arrested anybody? You have the right to remain silent. He didn't even know that. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be held against you in court of law. And then when you tell cops you have the right to remain silent, I'm just going to remain silent, they get mad. Oh, what's wrong, man? Are you mad? Did something do wrong? Are you okay? No, I just have the right to remain silent. Anytime you try to stand on your rights, they get mad. See, there has to be some new training. Something has to change. We need to get a stadium of cops on one side. I'm talking like 10,000 cops and 10,000 citizens, and have 50 speakers, 20 speakers on this side, 20 speakers, and come together and say, listen, man, things need to change. We need to start talking about this stuff. Things have to change. So listen, please, I want to hear your comments, what you think, ideas, because something really, really, really does need to change, guys. Listen, I believe in justice. I believe in our police force. I believe there's good cops out there. But let me tell you something. If you have one bad cop and all the good cops stand around and say nothing when that bad cop is acting up, then all you have is a bunch of bad cops. Oh, well, but I don't do what he does. I don't believe what he does. Yeah, but you don't correct it. It's called the silent game. Stop playing the silent game. Stop supporting bad. Well, that's just what we do. We can't interfere. And yes, you can interfere. Tell that bad cop you can't do that. Stop it. Intervene. Go take a break. This cop's. You see a cop holding this young teenager, this black kid, by his dreadlocks, walking him to the car. Somebody should have stopped and said, "Hey, take your hands off his head. Hold him right. He's a citizen. And he's innocent until proven guilty. He's not guilty until he goes to court. You're not judge and you're not jury. Please, I want to hear from you guys. I want to do some more videos like this. Listen, it's time for us, we the people. And as I say, am I detained? Am I? I don't know. I don't think I am. So, love you guys. Let's go. Have a beautiful. Let's do this.